Hey guys, Dylan here, and today we are going to be doing a quickie discussion. Today's quickie discussion is a long-awaited one on DStecks, so let's get into this today on DHT. DStecks is a Canadian YouTube personality who donated $1,000 to Chris in September 2015. Now, DStecks is actually someone who is one of the major factors for me getting into Chris Chan. I actually really did like his bad reviews and followed it until the end of it. Like, I started watching it in 2014 and then watched every new episode as it came out until it ended. So I really do have kind of an attachment to this article and this person in particular. He gave the money through a listing on Chris's Etsy shop. So Chris was obligated to produce 100 pages of the Sonichu comic in exchange, although he failed to do so, which is not shocking. I don't know if Chris has reached that amount now. This article is majorly out of date and needs to be updated because it says that Chris quit updating the comic at a certain date, which is false. He does currently update it, but not too often. So just know he has updated it, but still not as often as he should. Chris reached the milestone in laziness on the 8th of March by going through 500 days without working on the comic, eventually ended the hiatus 2 months later after 561 days through no involvement from DStecks. Okay, let me pull up the quickie and we'll see how long it's been. It has been 28 days since he uploaded a comic. Okay, 28 days since he updated the comic. And up here we can see a picture of DStecks, names Daniel Steckley, also known as DStecks, and that's all you need to know. Bad reviews on Sonichu. DStecks had been following Chris for years and has accounts on both the Quickie, joined February 2010 with a lengthy list of edits ending in June 2015, and Kiwi Farm joined May 2013. He first reviewed Sonichu on his Bad Reviews YouTube channel in September 2010 and would make more episodes on it over the next 5 years. On December 2015, he uploaded the last of his reviews on Sonichu, having reached the end of Chris's comic output. Donation. On September 2015, one day after Chris returned to Sonichu 11 by uploading 11 pages to his Facebook, DStecks donated 1,000 USD through a donation listing in which Chris had advertised that for every $10 donated, he would make a page for Sonichu 11. DStecks discussed this below in the video at 20:30, and I might play that at the end of this, but let's keep reading for now. DStecks left a comment for Chris. Hello, Christine. My name is Daniel Steckley, and you don't know me, but I have been a follower of yours for some time now. What a fucking ween thing to say. For the past 5 years, I have been reviewing Sonichu on YouTube, and amassed a small following. He'd probably consider himself an influencer. You could call me a troll of yours. I wouldn't. But as the years have gone on, I have had mixed feelings about your whole deal, and then it cuts off, so I'm gonna stop right there. Chris had this to say to his remarkable generosity. Thank you! Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. I tell you what. I'll tell you what. It's I tell you what. I tell you what. Not only will I draw you look like Seth Rogen, by the way, which no he doesn't, and put your name in this and the next book, but I will make and send you a set of 8 amiibo figures of the main Sonichu cast: Sonichu, Rosachu, Blake, Wild, Bubbles, Angelica, Punchy, and Magichan, and a Sonichu medallion, and the quick 3-piece amiibo set, me, past me, and present versions, and the Chris Chan Sonichu. Wait, what? And Chris Chan Sonichu. Okay, so I guess those are the 3 amiibos he's sending. The project will take up to 8 weeks to get the figures required and put them together. 8 weeks? Really? 2 months? What? That's fucking crazy. And I will uphold my promise / pledge for 100 pages of the donation at well. So he fucking says right there he will do the 100 pages. That's straight up said by Chris. So when this article says later that there was no stipulations, there was stipulations. Chris even knew them. He admits them right there. And from that while everyone gets a character drawing, you've given me the idea to do like PBS and offer you a gift for each increment of donation. I will update the listing with these details later today or tomorrow. I need to make the print back cards for each character, including my 3 characters, before I can make each amiibo figure listing, as well as take a few photographs. Also, here's a little Sonichu trivia for you to share. Oh god, Chris, you just had to be stupid at the end. Free one-time bonus for you. Which 2 characters did Christine Chandler have to repose for an amiibo figures? Who would know that compared to the original prototype set? Answer: Blake and Punchy Sonichu. Who would care? And I will give personal permission to review these figures in a video after you receive them. He would do it anyway if he wanted to. I will draw today or tomorrow and mail the drawing to you after this weekend. Again, thank you so much for your generous donation. Have a great and safe day. That's not a terrible response. That's a decent response, saying I'll do what you paid me for and I'll give you a little bit of extra shit. So I don't really hate Chris Chan for that. I just don't agree with DStecks donating so much money to someone like Chris. DStecks commented about his donation on Kiwi Farms, which is a terrible idea, but okay. The Patreon contributed about $300, and about $900 came out of my own bank account, so he wasted $900 on Chris Chan, $900 of his own money. The numbers don't add up to 1,000 because of Canada to USD exchange rates, which is right. On November 16th, DStecks received his medallion and amiibos from Chris. I finally received them in the mail. Chris promised me them for the donation. I'm going to be doing a proper video with them, which is the Christmas one, at Chris' request, but first impressions, a bunch of them had bits broken off of them in the box, which is a reoccurring thing if you saw the video we did on Chris's eBay. But the package arrived beat the shit, so could easily have occurred during shipping. I doubt it was the shipping. Chris probably just had a dented box and then put them in the dented box, and then they broke because Chris didn't put them together right. Also, all of them except for Sonichu and Blackchu have a number 1 on the bottom. Sonichu has 43 and Blackchu has 16. IIRC. So, unless Chris numbers like a programmer, I'm pretty sure nobody has even bought any of these amiibos except for Sonichu and Blackchu. Well, Sonichu and Blackchu are really popular characters, and no one really gives a shit about the rest of the characters, so you're probably right on that one. I'll give you that, DStecks. He displayed them in Bad Reviews 32, a Sonichu Christmas. I was right on that. Motives and criticism. DStecks seemed to have some remorse from gaining popularity to his YouTube channel as a result of mocking Chris's comic, saying, I can't take back what I've done, but one specific way I can. To explain why he was personally financing the continuation of Sonichu 11. This is after he got Trolls Remorse. He got heavy Trolls Remorse and decided that continuing Sonichu would be a good way to pay off the sins that he had committed by daring to have a sense of humor. He also seemed to want to end his association with Sonichu on a high note, as he said that due to being the executive producer of Sonichu, he would be unable to review Sonichu 11 without violation of ethics, which is retarded. I don't know why he would ever say that. Although he would betray this point only a few months later. And he justified that as some of it was done beforehand, so I guess then it would still be part of the original run, but who fucking cares. DStecks also gained criticism for his inability to review the comic without stating his own personal beliefs and political views, which the political view thing is still going on. Check out his Twitter. He's like an actual proper SJW now. It's amazing. As he called out both trolls and others for their motives, such as calling Asperchu the biggest attack on Chris due to the comic itself being attacked, and believing that Leary deserves some backlash despite it being a parody. He stated that he was ashamed of his generation due to Gamergate and used Anita Sarkeesian footage to prove a feminist point. And he did speed up the clip, so it wasn't too terrible. But the funny thing is, he's actually really similar to, and he did it before him, Quentin Reviews. Quentin Reviews is another man who would review old media, and then through his journey on YouTube, he decided that he was too mean and that he was an influencer who needed to promote positive ideas. So then he started attacking other people and calling out toxicity. It's weird how similar his story is to Quentin Reviews, and he kind of acts like Quentin Reviews now. He's also a bigger man like Quentin Reviews and was known for having a beard. So it's weird how similar these two are. His donation is controversial with Christorians, as some believe that he honestly wanted Sonichu 11 to continue and was naive about Chris's laziness. Others argued that this weenish move validated begging in Chris's eyes, which the begging videos would increase after this, and they still go on. So yes, I do think this validated begging in Chris's eyes. And I have told my audience numerous times, don't donate to Chris. Don't give Chris money. He'll dox you. He'll not use the money for what it was intended to begin with, and then he'll just ask for more shit. There's no point in giving him money. Arthur Spatchcock, in the following year, commented about his opinion on DStecks and the donation. Arthur Spatchcock is someone who interviewed Chris before. He's actually decently known in the Chris community. I've brought this up in previous conversations, but I think DStecks is inadvertently a master troll without truly realizing it. He gave Chris the $1,000 with no actual stipulations associated with it. No, I disagree with that, because Chris knew that it was for the comic pages. DStecks didn't say you had to do it, but Chris knew it. He admitted it himself. He said in the message to DStecks what he was going to get for the money. So Chris knew what he was supposed to do. In Chris's mind, that adds up to a gift. No, it didn't, because Chris actually did see it as for what it was meant to be, and he did try to give most of what he offered, so I disagree with this. And he was in no way required to do anything remotely Sonichu related with a dime of it. Now Chris has a very real concept that his fans are willing to make obnoxious donations at the drop of a hat. He does think that now, so you're right on that. I'll give you that. While ostensibly for a good cause, DStecks' overly generous donation ultimately had little effect on Chris's finances, which is why I keep telling people, unless you've got like $30,000 sitting on the floor, you aren't going to be able to help Chris in his finance problems. Your $200 ain't going to do shit, and he's going to waste it on toys, nor his habits regarding money in general. DStecks is sometimes used by commentators as an example of wienery and white knighting at its most insane, with copycats attempting to pay Chris large sums of money to have him perform or provide their liking, only to have very little, if anything, in return, which is true with the Teen Troons. It always ends badly for the people giving him money. Don't give Chris money. You will be doxxed, and you will have a lot of trouble come from it. Just don't give him money. Outcome: Chris predictably failed to deliver on his end of the deal for the comics, delivering only 16 pages of the 100 promise. Now, I don't know if this is up to date. I don't know if this is a true fact. I think the comic is done now, the one that he was supposed to upload. This article is outdated, so I don't know if that's 100% true. His last upload for Sonichu 11 was October 2015, so yeah, I don't think that's true. I think that's outdated information. It is unknown if DStecks discussed the matter any further with Chris. As for DStecks, he went back on his word to not review Sonichu any further by uploading a video reviewing Sonichu 11 on December the 24th. He claimed that there were some remaining Sonichu I did not finance, and thus the review can still go on without violating journalistic ethics. However, that was a lie, as the review contained 16 pages Chris had uploaded after being paid by DStecks, and he needed to review those pages, or else the story would make no fucking sense. So he did go back on his word. He should have just not reviewed it. Arthur Spatchcock later spoke with Chris about the donation and learned that he had bought a bed with it, and I'll show you that bed in a second. One of Chris's more practical purchases, but this did nothing to advance the comic. And here's his statement. Also, for everyone who wonders what Chris did with the $1,000 from DStecks, he was surprisingly responsible with it. He actually bought a bed with it, a $600 one at that. Some of it went towards bills even. But why a bed, you ask? Because Barb and Chris had been sharing a bed after the fire, and she got mad with him one night for him spooning incorrectly. So Chris and his mom had been sharing a bed for years, and apparently she was getting mad at him because he couldn't lay down correctly. So that's why he had to get a bed. And I'll show you that bed right now. And this is Chris Chan fucking a blow-up doll on the bed that DStecks paid for. So, the money is being spent well, DStecks. It's spent well. Chris is fucking on the bed you bought him. This is what happens when you give Chris money. In the comic, DStecks appears as Danny Steckel in Sonichu 12 in a set of panels drawn in June 2017 at Quickville's SLGBTQ, which is LGBTQ but with Sonichu Pride Festival. Danny is greeted by Angelica, who thanks him for the generous donation to the soup hotels, mentioning that the new beds and foods were acquired by the funds. So a new bed did go to a homeless person, but that was Chris, not the other made-up people. Below are screenshots of the donation, which DStecks had, including his announcement video. So I'll show you the photo more up close of him from the comic. Apparently that's what Chris thinks Seth Rogen looks like, and DStecks is a Q-tip compared to Angelica. That was DStecks. Now, I plan on talking more about DStecks in the future. I plan on covering more of his retardation, and the next video I want to do involving DStecks will be the guy who made Asperchew, Alec Benson Leary's opinions on DStecks, because he had a lot to say about him. So if you guys are excited about that, hit the like button. If you really like this video, then share it. If you want to see more, then subscribe. Before the credits roll, I thought I'd take a second to talk to you guys about my Patreon. If you want to help keep the channel going and prevent it from going under when YouTube decides to randomly demonetize my videos, or when a nutcase like Gamer Guy decides to strike my channel, making me lose money off of my streams, you can go back my Patreon. Benefits include being a producer, which means you get all the credits at the end of the videos. You can recommend quickie articles, which means that articles you want covered are more likely to happen sooner. You can request me to review a comic book of your choice, or you can even come on to be a guest reader for the fanfiction series. My Patreon is linked in the description below, and it's also in the About section on my YouTube. Hope to see you guys there.